Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Umineko When They Cry, Episode 2. The family conference is about to get underway yet again, just like what we saw in Episode 1. I don't think there's any major differences, but we know a whole lot more. Obviously, we know the events that are about to take place, or an idea of the events that are about to take place. Basically, everybody is going to die, so that's fun. But we also got to learn about quite a few characters. We have a little bit more background on them through the events of Episode 1 and what we have seen so far in Episode 2. So I'm excited to really see how that's all going to play a part here, and if anything is going to change, and whatever else is bound to pop up as we try to figure things out. Before we jump in, though, I wanted to see if there's anything in the tips. Somebody was saying in the Grimoire that these are supposed to be just for, like, mostly translation sort of terms and stuff, but I think there were some other things in Episode 1 that popped up here, and they weren't necessarily for translation's sake. I just got to keep an eye out there. I have not checked on the characters tab for a while. I don't know if anything else has actually changed here, but I just wanted to really take a gander. I think everything here with Beatrice is pretty much, you know, what we know to a degree. I don't know, has anything changed with Shannon? I don't believe so. I think everything here is the same. We just saw Kanuns. I was kind of glimpsing just to see if there's anything different. George, everything is also the same. So I don't think anything's really different here, but I'm going to try and keep my eyes, you know, peeled, ready to go, as well as keeping my ears fully open, totally listening to those little sound effects to let you know that, hey, something has been updated, because I'm really bad at noticing that, apparently. So are all the pieces in place? It's a question. Shall we line them up, or shall we line them all up again and start a new game? Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is kind of a continuation from the tea party scene, kind of, maybe? The witch looked at him challengingly while elegantly smoking her pipe. And Battler, he just rudely shrugged his shoulders as if he didn't care what she did. He didn't meet her eyes, but that didn't mean he didn't intend to challenge her. It showed his clear determination to never be taken in by this bastard's tricks. It was an expression of his determination to fight. I am.
お前の出方がわからねえ以上、策も何もねえぜ。好きに先手を取ればいいじゃねえか。
もちろんそうさせていただくぞ。お前の守りをいかに崩すか、何手で詰めるか。わらわの腕の見せ所よ。
お前がどんな手で来ようが、俺はお前を信じない。
Which is crazy because it seems like the whole idea here is to discredit Beatrice, to basically prove that everything that has happened so far, even in all the videos that I've recorded thus far in Episode 2, that none of that was Beatrice. Even so, she quite literally showed up for many of those videos. I don't know how we're going to pull this one off.
その一点を俺が貫き通す限り。
そなたがわらわを、魔女の存在を認めるまで永遠に続く。
But by doing that, that means that everybody will have said that, yep, Beatrice exists, and so do these witches, and that means she is one. Her power will be at 100%, and there will be no return.
なら、俺もお前が根負けするまで、何度でも無限に付き合ってやるぜ。
And I did, glimpse at her character sheet there. It did say that she does not like boredom, or something to, those lines there. She wants to be entertained.
お前が何をのたまおうと自由だ。だが、俺が信じるかどうかは常に俺が自分で決める。
Nice. Stand your ground, Battler. Stand it.
貴様の魔法がどれほどのものだったとしても、俺の魂は屈しない。これは俺への拷問だと？違うね。
ならば何だというのか。
これはお前への拷問なのさ。
I like it.
お前
Yeah.
いつ俺に屈し諦めるか。
No, I mean, he wants to flip the tables on her because he knows that she wants to be entertained.
それまで繰り返される拷問なのさ。
面白いかな。その例えやよし。互いを苛み合う拷問とは実に面白い。さーて、始めようではないか。後ろ宮バトラー
Damn. She's got those pipes. Including the one in her hand, obviously. Okay, so I guess I could have included this at the end of the previous video. Whoopsies. But how was I supposed to know? Come on. Alright, so 10:45 in the morning. Every year, the relatives visiting Rokkenjima would let out a sigh of admiration at the rose garden that first greeted them. They would stop there to chat about the rose's beauty and how well they were blooming that year. In the midst of all of this, there was a single unhealthy rose, and Maria became overwhelmed with dejection at its condition. This goddamn rose caused so much fucking problems, or a massive fucking problem that actually introduced, Beatrice's first letter to us, actually, through a crazy, roundabout sequence of events. But George used his quick wits, and saying that everything would be fine if they took care of this poor thing, marked it with a candy wrapper and immediately restored Maria's good mood. Then Battler, with whom she had been getting along well since that morning, had started talking about Halloween. I don't remember Halloween being a topic in the first episode, so I think this is something that's been a little tweaked here. Again, doesn't seem like anything major has changed here, but this seems to be a minor adjustment. This was such a favorite topic of Maria's that she began playing around energetically again. To Maria, that marshmallow jack-o'-lantern candy bought by her mother was probably the greatest sort of treasure. They seemed to have bought several, and she demanded a trick or treat from every person she met, giving them candy instead of the other way around.
マリアはどうしてこんなにハロウィンが好きなんだろうな。日本人には一つ馴染みにくいイベントだと思ってたんだが。
Well, I think it's just the whole, aspect of dressing up, and she can actually, she can dress up as a witch. She can actually be the thing that she actually cherishes the most for some weird reason.
仮装行列で練り歩く子供のお祭りだからじゃねえのか？普段と違う格好をしてはしゃぎ合うってのは楽しいぜ。
Oh yeah, there were hella competitions and shit whenever I was growing up and going to school and all that. Elementary, middle, high, there's always a competition for who can do the best in their, dress up. Call it cosplay or whatever, but damn, I did not compete. And if I did, I can guarantee I didn't win shit.
ディープな理由によるものだと思うな。何しろ魔女のマリアちゃんだからね。
そういや、飛行場でもマリアは仮装するなら魔女になりたいって言っていたっけ。マリアって魔女が好きなんだ。
Oh, buddy. Yes, she does.
ええ、大好きよ。困ったくらいに。
Yeah, 100%.
まあまあ。あのくらいの年頃はファンタジックな存在に憧れるもんですから。せめてテレビアニメのヒロインに憧れるくらいなら可愛いんだけど。
Judging by Rose's appearance, she wasn't very happy about her daughter's love for witches as a mother. The cousins other than Battler seemed to realize this, and they shrugged, wearing stiff smiles.
ほー、魔女好きだとハロウィンも好きになるって論法なのか？わかんなきゃ本人に聞けばいいか。おい、マリア、ハロウィンと魔女って何か関係あるのか？
Well, I can definitely say this, because, I live here over in the United States. Witches, for as long as I can remember, and even before I was born, have always been, the ugly kind, Whenever you think of a witch, they have the long nose, a green face, they're wearing the black robes, and they've got a big-ass hat, they fly around on a broom. That's sort of just what you think about with a witch. They are sort of an icon for Halloween, or at least they were. I don't know if things have changed recently here. As Battler asked that, George and Jessica let out a stifled "ah," as if they were trying to stop him, but too late. Maria might have been waiting for just that question. After beaming for an instant, her expression turned a little mean, as if to say, "You're totally clueless, aren't you?" It was the face of a hobbyist who's been ticked off by an outsider saying something stupid about their favorite subject. It happens.
ケルト人は1年間を通じてその勢いを変える太陽は
Oh wow, we're getting into the deep specifics.
1年を通して
とても面白いよね。古代の人々がいかに太陽を神聖視していたかがわかるエピソードだよ。
I mean, yeah, it's such a source of a lot of things, and back then, when, you know, our brains were tiny and we didn't understand shit, and we probably thought that everything revolved around the earth, yeah, I mean, it stood out.
で、それが魔女とどう関係があるんだ?
It seemed that my casual urging forward had slightly infuriated Maria. She glared at me with eyes that told me to shut up while she explained. Maria seemed to be having a blast as she talked, so I decided not to interrupt.
10月と11月の狭間は日本でいうお盆みたいなものだよ。
Her and her goddamn little laugh. At the time, well, at least it's not the ooh, so I guess, you know, this is better. At the time, people believed that souls returning to the physical world would go into people's houses or possess people and do bad things. So in order to avoid harm, they performed rituals. One of those was to imitate creepy monsters and scare the souls back, which was apparently a way to avoid being possessed.
その部分がお祭りになっていって仮装行列になってったんだな。
So I think I brought up in the previous video that I'm not really religious. It was either the last video or the video before. I think it was the last video because I was talking about how, you know, other countries, such as Japan, they do kind of celebrate the festivities of the holidays that we celebrate with a little bit more meaning here in the West. I brought up, I'm not really religious, so I kind of just celebrate the festivities of Christmas, and I do know that that's kind of similar over in Japan. I kind of already forgot what I'm getting at, so I will have to circle back around to, oh, no, okay, I remember now. Jeez, my setup actually made me forget what I was talking about. No, I do have a little bit of experience or knowledge or something. I've gone to church before. Let's go with that. I've gone to a Christian church before, and I've learned that Halloween is actually not a good thing for Christians. Like, it's actually something to be avoided, and those that celebrate it are actually like, they're like dancing with the devil or some weird shit. I don't know. I'm not really the most informed on it now because I don't remember anything, but it is actually pretty interesting looking at all the different sides of how these festivities, holidays, and all that are actually celebrated. This seems to be like a different way of looking at it, not really from a religious sense, but a more ritual, you know, type of way.
マリアは本当に物知りだぜ。
I don't know. I was just making a little connection. Don't mind me.
わしもハロウィンに備えな言われがあるなんて知らんかったわ。
しかし、それのどこにお菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞってのが出てくるんだ?
Her knowledge was so extensive that the adults had suddenly started listening into, Maria, who was normally treated like the youngest all the time, puffed out her chest with pride. Saying that this was just a kid's discussion, Rosa suggested that the adults go on ahead and set their luggage down in the guest house. But nobody else agreed to go with her. She let out a heavy sigh. Oh, this is just the first of Maria explaining all this crazy shit to us.
トリックオアトリートは単なるお遊び。本来のケルト人たちの儀式とは何の関係もない。それは後にキリスト教の習慣が混合してできたものなの。でもマリアは本来のハロウィンの姿とはそうあるべきだと思うの。
According to Maria, the souls of the dead weren't the only ones who visited from the non-human world. There were also spirits with intimate connections to people's everyday lives. Humans could receive favors from those spirits, so they'd manage to gain magnificent blessings, as well as a year's worth of good crops. And you need those good crops.
なるほどな。
You do not want your crops to be cursed.
10月ってのは季節的にもいろいろ節目って気がするぜ。日本の4月のちょうど反対側だもんな。
Yeah, even today, like, you can really say that October is sort of like, you know, we're approaching the colder months. And, you know, there with the colder months, at least here in the United States, is a whole bunch of holidays and stuff that people can celebrate if they do celebrate those, you know, specific holidays.
そしてね、
そういう世界の客人たちと交流できる大切な機会だったと。
Sounds a little familiar.
そう言いたいわけか？
バトラ ラの言う通り。だからね、魔女たちや悪魔たちの力が最も活発で盛んになるのが10月なの。
Oh, I wonder why.
きっとベアトリーチェも来てくれる。
That's actually a real question. I have absolutely no idea why specifically.
そしてね、一緒にマシュマロお菓子食べて、マリアも黄金鏡に連れてってもらうの。一緒に魔法のお歌を歌って、魔法の呪文を習って、魔法陣
No,
の
this is
書き
just the
方を習
beginning
う
of it
の。
all here,
そ
gamers.
してね、ルーンの秘密を習って、
All this crazy bullshit that she'll bring up later. Yeah, let's just stop that now, shall we? Maybe.
あらあら、それは素敵ね。子供は夢があるのが一番よ。
That's one way to put it.
ところでローザ、マリアちゃんは今年でいくつになったんだったかしら？
マリア、もうそのお話は終わりにしなさい。
気にしないでローザさん。女の子なら誰だって一度は思い描く夢じゃない。
ありがとうございます。でももうマリアはそういう年を卒業していますので。
Yet she has really extensive knowledge on this subject.
こら、やめなさいと言ってるでしょ。
Among other topics. Rosa scolded Maria, trying to shut her up before her creepy discussion about black magic earned her the snickers of the relatives.
そいつはなんだかスケールのでかい話だな。
I mean, it is kind of Battler's fault for bringing up the whole topic
ベア
here.
トリーチェって誰だっけ？なんだっけ？聞いた名前だな。
Battler had been gone for 6 years and had completely forgotten about the legend of the Rokkenjima witch. However, when he said he didn't know Beatrice's name, Maria's once bright mood soured in an instant. Yeah, she's not going to really understand. I mean, she's just meeting this guy again for the first time in 6 years. And, well, this is kind of like a true first meeting. She's not going to fully grasp that he has been absent for those years. When he saw that, Battler immediately remembered that it was the name of the witch on this island, but the damage had been done. Until Maria's mood improved, she went on and on about many mysterious and fabulous episodes regarding the Golden Witch. Yeah, good move. Good move.
もうよしなさいマリア。ありがとうねバトラ君。お話に付き合ってくれて。
You okay there? You alright? You got a little twitch thing going on there.
カノン君、お仕事があるんでしょ？もう行ってちょうだい。ゴーダさん、みんなとりあえず荷物を置きたがってると思うの。悪いんだけど、みんなをゲストハウスへ案内してくれるかしら。
That is very creepy.
かしこまりました。それでは皆様、ゲストハウスへご案内いたします。
それでは、失礼いたします。
Goda led the relatives, and they began to head towards the guest house. They were eager to set down their luggage and take a breather, so they didn't realize that Rosa and Maria weren't coming with them. Uh-oh. Here we go. This is happening a lot earlier than I thought it was going to. After watching them leave towards the guest house, Rosa's face changed suddenly. She let go with the hand that had been gripping Maria this whole time. There was a bright red mark there, making it clear how much excessive force she had been using on Maria's slender arm. Oh man, come on. That hand then slapped against Maria's head, pinched her left ear, and lifted.
魔女の話はするなといつも言ってるでしょうが。それはママとの約束だといつも言っているでしょ。
God damn it, Rosa. Thought we were done with this. At least until the nighttime.
ハロウィンうるさいのよあんたは。魔女のお祭り？ケルト人が何よ、黒魔術が何よ、バカじゃないの。
I mean, I think it's interesting.
あんた9歳よ9歳。電車であんなに騒ぐから。わざわざ電車降りてまでその蛍光塗料みたいな気持ち悪いお化けマシュマロを買ってやったのよ。遅刻してまであんたに買ってやったのよ。あんた、どこまで私の顔を潰せば気が済むのよ。
I don't think she was necessarily embarrassed. Or like, I don't think Maria embarrassed her. Like, if Rosa feels embarrassed, that's on her. The thing is, kids are always going to embarrass their parents. And it's also going to be vice versa. It's not something that they mean to do. But Maria is smart and she brought up something, or I guess talked about something that Battler brought up, and it was a pretty good discussion. Nobody disliked it. Sure, she got a little comment from Ava, but that's just Ava being bitchy-ass Ava. So I don't think there's really a reason for this. As Rosa cursed, she twisted Maria's up, almost as though she was about to tear it off. An expression of anguish spread across Maria's face while she frantically stood on her tiptoes, trying to soften the pain in that ear. Rosa suddenly grabbed that candy, or the candy that Maria had been holding. Ah, fuck. She threw it on the ground and stepped on it over and over. To Maria, it was supposed to be proof of a memory, of a brief span of time when her mother had bought something fun for her. But now that same mother was grinding it into the ground right in front of her. It was as though a brand had been pushed into Maria's eyes, leaving a mark that could never be erased.
こんな気持ち悪いお菓子が何よ。気持ち悪い、気持ち悪い。あんたがそんなんだから、あんたがそんなんだから。気持ち悪い、気持ち悪い、気持ち悪い。
As she said that, she struck Maria's head over and over again with her palm. She didn't hit Maria's face because the red swelling would stand out. Maria closed her eyes tightly, patiently bearing her mother's violence. No, that wasn't quite it. She kept bearing Rosa's assault, muttering that over and over. This is abuse, in my opinion. I know that there is like a common, I guess, older opinion by the previous generations that it's okay to hit your kid or stuff like that when it's in a form of a punishment. But no, like this is what it does. It makes them sad. It makes them scared. It makes them say this sort of shit where they think that, oh, their parent has been possessed and they're really wanting the good side of their parent to come back. Like, it's not good to do this. And that's why I keep on saying, like, I'm never going to excuse it. There is no excusing it, but I'd like to believe that there's a reason for the way that people act the way they do. Which is why I'm actually struggling to find a fucking reason this time around. Rosa, tired from hitting her daughter, breathed so hard her shoulders shook. Maria grasped her hands together, withstanding it, hoping her mother would return soon. God damn it, you are so dumb. After hurling those words at Maria, Rosa left in the direction of the guest house, leaving Maria behind. This was so unnecessary, honestly. Maria, forgetting even that it was okay to cry, kept staring down at the jack-o'-lantern candy that had been trampled beyond recognition. God damn it, man. That shit just sucks, honestly. Maria doesn't deserve that. I don't know what Maria's fucking problem is with the ooh and the crazy-ass knowledge that she has on witches and all this other crazy bullshit, but no, you don't do that, man. Yeah, I'm sure you are.
ローザ、早く荷物を置いてこいよ。兄貴んとこへ挨拶に行こうぜ。
ん？マリアちゃんはどうしたんや？まだ花壇におるんかいな。
ええ、気に入ったバラがあるみたいで、世話をするって言って聞かなくて。
I mean, that is kind of true. She does want to, like, you know, keep an eye on it. But that's not what went down. That's not what happened.
女の子には女の子の世界があったことを私たちはたまに忘れるわ。時には尊重してあげないとね。
そうね。お気遣いをありがとう、キリエ姉さん。ゴーダさん、私たちの部屋はどこ？
ご案内いたします。こちらでございます。お荷物をお持ちいたしましょう。
結構よ。自分で持てます。
Jesus Christ. You know, I was saying as well that I felt like Rosa, if there was to be a sane and more understanding character out of the four siblings, it would be her. Nope, not at all. Rosa went into her room, guided by Goda. She then closed the door somewhat violently and threw her luggage on top of the bed. She got down on her knees in front of the bed, burying her face in it. For a while, Rose had made as if to shred the sheets with her fingernails, sobbing constantly. She has problems. Problems that I think should be looked at by a doctor, somebody that is definitely licensed in a field that can, help with mental issues and whatever else. Anger problems, definitely.
大丈夫ですか?
Kanun appeared from behind a thicket after watching Rosa leave. Maria gave a creepy laugh, which, I'm used to at this point. But to Kanun, who had seen the whole thing, it looked like she was enduring as best as she could.
最低のやつだ。あれで母親なんて。
仕方ないよ。その程度の器には、その程度のが入り込む。マリアは全然平気だよ。
Wait, what does she mean by that? You can't expect anything better than that to enter a container of that level? What? Kanun got down on his knees and picked up the trampled candy. It was tragic just looking at it. He thought about dusting it off and returning it to her, but really couldn't do so with it in that condition. Just as he was wondering what to do, he met Maria's gaze. No, that wasn't quite right. Maria was looking at the candy Kanun had picked up. Right now, Maria's heart was surely the same as the candy that had been trampled into a pulp. Kanun realized this, but didn't know what he should do.
そうだ。さっき僕がもらったのと交換してあげるよ。
Kanun remembered that a similar candy he'd received from Maria was in his pocket. Maria stuck out her hand. Kanun thought she was trying to take it, so he held out the candy, but Maria didn't try to grasp it. Then Kanun realized she was saying give it back. No matter how tragic and trampled it was, this candy was Maria's. Her mother had bought it for her. No matter how tragic, it had to be this candy and no other. If only it were intact enough that it could be fixed by dusting it off. Unfortunately, not all things can work like that. Kanun hung his head.
僕には誇りを払う程度しかできない。ごめん。
Kanun held out the miserable-looking candy Maria wanted. She took it and spoke.
ありがとう。人間には誇りしか払えないけど、魔女には元通りに直すことができるよ。ベアトリーチェなら簡単にね。
Uh-huh.
マリア様はベアトリーチェ様のことを。
Oh, this ought to be pretty interesting, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Except for Battler, there was no way anyone related to the Ushiromiya family could have failed to notice Beatrice's name. But just now, Maria had bragged about Beatrice to Battler. She had spoken almost as though she was meeting with Beatrice regularly. Kanun felt a sharp pain inside his left hand, which was curled into a fist. In the past, a witch called Beatrice had appeared to tempt him and Shannon. He had always tried to think of it as a bad dream. However, Shannon insisted that it definitely was a real witch. Now, she was there. She was there. And then this summer, the shrine to the local Shinto god was hit by lightning, disappearing without a trace over the span of a single night. He knew about Shannon breaking that mirror, and he remembered that, as the witch departed, she said that she would eventually be revived. And revived she will. Not tonight, but probably the next night over. But, it's going to happen, basically. It's happening during this conference. And now this girl who believed absolutely in Beatrice spoke as though she had met Beatrice herself. Kanun couldn't suppress a vague sense of foreboding welling up in his heart. I don't know, is she gonna pop up here? For a while, Maria remained silent as though she could see into Kanun's heart. Almost as though she was waiting for a memory of Beatrice to be revived. And then she spoke as though it was a fact.
マリアはね、ベアトリーチェとお友達なの。
Oh man, really? Wow, could not have guessed. But no, actually, I do wonder how deep their relationship goes. Obviously, there had to have been prior experiences between the two because they seemed quote-unquote close in the events of episode 1, or at least she gave Maria quite the way out a lot of the time. Like whenever she and the servants were kicked out near the end, she like just told Maria like, hey, go over there, turn, face the wall, close your eyes and sing a song or whatever. Like she was kind, quote unquote, to Maria, but why? But I wonder, what does she have to think of Kanun not necessarily being friends with Beatrice?
今日だって会って一緒に遊ぶよ。
遊びますか？
うん、遊ぶよ。一緒にね、魔法のお勉強をするの。
Damn, I didn't think we'd be getting to creepy Maria this early, but I'm cool with it. The face of that witch, whom Konun had tried to pretend was a bad dream, began to slowly creep into the back of his mind. I don't know, is she gonna pop up? Are we gonna talk with her here? Maybe? I'm kinda hoping. No, okay, we're not.
お父様は研究で大変ご多忙と仰せです。
Man, I don't care for this shit anymore.
残念ながら、こちらへはおいでになれないとのことです。
やれやれ、こちとら秋の大忙しの中、日程をつけて、はるばる六軒島まで来てるんだぜ。親父も少しは愛想を良くしてもらいたいもんだぜ。
ほんとよね。南條先生、本当に研究や機嫌の問題なの？
Well, there's also alcohol and, you know, an obsession over a woman that doesn't really exist, but kinda does.
ベッドから起き上がれないくらいに容体が悪いって言うんじゃないの？
さて、私の口からは何とも。
Sorry, I was getting a drink of water. Nanjo glanced at Natsuhi. It seemed he had thought it wasn't his place to speak without first getting Natsuhi's approval.
お父様はますますにご健康でいらっしゃいます。
Well, it's not good health, but I mean, I guess it's a comparison thing, honestly.
寝たきりなどと失礼極まりない。
でも余命3ヶ月なんでしょ？普通に
He's had like 3 months to live for like 2 years.
痩せ衰えてベッドからも起きられないはずよ。でしょ、南條先生？
波の患者ならそうでしょうがな。金蔵さんは並外れた気力をお持ちです。
Among other things and problems.
あの気迫にお迎えも恐れて近寄れないのかもしれませんな。
それほどまでにお元気なら少なくとも安心ね。
そこまで元気なら、せめて挨拶くらいはさせてほしいもんなんだがな。
No, he has absolutely no interest in that,
親
actually.
族会議ってのは、親父の顔を見に来たって意味なんだぜ。これじゃあ、何のために来たのかわからねえぜ。
そう言うな。いればいたで、心が休まらないといつもぼやくのだろうが。兄弟一同水入らずで今年も全員欠けることなく集まれたことを喜ぼうじゃないかね。
But is Rosa here?
昨年の親族会議でも会えなかったのよ。血を分けた子供たちが2年ぶりに挨拶したいというのがどうして理解してもらえないのかしら。
挨拶の言葉があるのでしたら、私どもがお伝えします。それとも、エヴァさん、何かお父様にお会いして、挨拶以上のお話でもあられるのですか？
Oh, here they go again.
いやね。
その姿をぜひ見てもらいたいという気持ちもわからなくない。
Yeah, we all know.
貴重な時間を大事にし、忌憚ない話し合いをせんといかん。
Even though the tea hadn't yet arrived, they were very determined.
でも、その前に本家の素晴らしい調度品に囲まれた客間で、
Yeah, let's chill out before shit actually does hit the fan, because it will hit the fan. It will. They all understood, and as they cleared their throats and straightened their neckties, the atmosphere in the room returned to normal for a time. Yeah, for a while. We all know what's gonna go down there.
失礼します。お茶をお持ちいたしました。
よー、シャノンちゃん。ますますべっぴんさんになったな。
What a comment. Shanun entered the parlor, pushing the serving cart. Is she gonna do her blunder like she did in episode 1? Everyone decided to relax and enjoy some black tea for the time being. A wonderful aroma began to spread throughout the room. As far as anyone could see, the strained atmosphere from before Shanun's arrival seemed like a lie. Of course, Shanun, who was setting out the tea, probably didn't even notice. Kirie seemed to laugh faintly at how adult everyone was suddenly acting. Rudolph didn't like it when Kirie took the initiative and spoke at the family conference. It was his worthless male pride. He probably didn't want to look like a weak man who took advice from his wife. She understood that and did her best to refrain from saying any more than was necessary. So she separated herself from the circle of siblings who only superficially appeared to be enjoying some time together alone, and casually drank her tea near the window.
あら、ローザさん、兄弟で水いらずなのでは？ご冗談を。
Now she has her own problems going
ごめん
on.
なさい。気を悪くしないで。うちの夫に呆れてるだけだから。
Apparently, Rosa hadn't been able to keep up with that on-the-surface friendliness. They'd come here to fight bloodily and dirtily, and each trying to grab a part of the inheritance for themselves. She probably didn't like suddenly pretending that they were all chummy, because they're not going to be, especially against Kraus. Or maybe she was still too immature for that.
だいぶ風が出てきているようですね。枝葉があんなに揺れて。もう台風が近くまで来ているのでしょうね。今夜あたりからはだいぶ降るのかしら。
Oh, we will. We most definitely will.
マリアちゃん、この1年で随分立派になりましたね。
Oh, Rosa doesn't want to talk about her right now.
そう見えます。未だに自分のお洋服を畳むことすらできないんですよ。ええ。こんなにも愛情たっぷりなお母さんと一緒なんですもの。心の豊かな子に成長しますよ。
Yeah, I wonder about that too. Rosa fell silent. Maybe she was unsure as to what Kirie meant by that.
私なんて母親失格ですよ。子に生まれる親は選べない。あの子がかわいそうで。お互い様じゃないですか。親だって生まれる子は選べない。
Nope, you just gotta make do. You have to make it work. This is a relationship that will always be in some sort of existence. Family forever. Rosa bit her lower lip.
どちらが悪いとかじゃなくて、一緒に生きていくんだという気持ちで、ゆっくり成長を見守ってあげればいいじゃないですか。ローザさんは毎日をマリアちゃんと過ごしてるから、小さな変化に気づかないかもしれないけれど、1年ぶりに再会した私たちには、その大きな成長ぶりがよくわかりますよ。もし本気で言ってくれてるならありがとうございます。
Yeah, I'm sure that Rosa is busting her ass off, and there is that stress that comes with that. But again, it is still no excuse for what she's doing to her child. Shanun bowed politely and left the room. As Hideyoshi and Rudolph, who had a soft spot for women, watched her go, the atmosphere in the room began to revert back to what it had been right before Shanun's visit.
お父様がいらっしゃられないなら、それはそれでできる話もあるというものよ。ねえ、ルドルフ。
ああ、そうだな。俺たちははるばるここまで埃の匂いがする紅茶を飲みに来たわけじゃねえぜ。
よかろう。一秒を争ってお前たちがしたいという話を聞こうじゃないか。
Oh, you already know, Kraus. You already know. And so do we.
やれやれ。もっと交流しなきゃいけないのに。いつも会えば変な話ばかりで。
Wait, as a pair of mothers with daughters. Huh?
この屋敷の空気のせいよ。ここの空気を嗅ぐと、いつも私たちはギスギスし合ってるもの。ローザさんとは親族会議じゃない席で、一度ゆっくりお茶でも飲みたいわ。銀座に行きつけの素敵な喫茶店があるの。ぜひ今度招待させて。ありがとう。その時はぜひ。
I'm always recording these when I'm seemingly tired, so ignore me if I'm like really stupid with like anything I point out.
急に空が暗くなってきたわ。
Yeah, it's about to rain. And it's gonna be raining for a while.
悪くしてるみたい。もうゴロゴロ鳴ってるわ。あら、ぽつりと来たかしら。
There really were small splashes of rain on the glass of the parlor window. the weather seemed to have worsened faster than expected. And it all begins. Just then a silent thunderbolt struck inside Rosa's head, and she remembered that her beloved child was out in the rose garden. A normal girl would try to go inside if the weather got bad, but this is Maria. Maria was different. She would sometimes get stubborn and refuse to move if rain or even spears fell from the sky. That's right, I told that child to just stay there doing that forever, didn't I? Everyone looked back at Rosa when she let out a small scream. Why is she doing that thing with her, like, her right eye there? Or I guess left on our end, but yeah, why is she doing that?
なんだどうしたってんだあいつ。
いいじゃない。すぐ戻るわよ。それより始めたら私たちの本題。
そうね。ローザ抜きでも進められる話を戻しましょう。
Honestly, that actually might give them a little bit of like a step over Kraus, because Kraus was kind of using Rosa, because I guess it's like a difference between being the top sibling down to the bottom sibling. You have like some, not necessarily control, but you can strike fear into them a little bit. Rosa dashed from the entrance hall into the rose garden. Hopefully she got an umbrella, because it's about to get a little wet. When she opened the door, the wind that hit her was too strong to be called a light breeze, and told her that the typhoon was approaching faster than she had thought. Just as Kirie had said, the wind was mixed in with small droplets of rain. There was also a low rumble of thunder. It could start raining any time. Rosa headed for the rose garden. She headed for the place where she had scolded Maria a short while ago. It was almost lunchtime. The children had been told to come to the mansion around lunchtime, so they were probably in the guest house waiting to be called. Even if Maria didn't come to them, they would surely think I took her to the mansion with me and wouldn't worry much. After all, she had been with her mother, so there should have been no reason to worry. I was there, and I abandoned my daughter to the worsening weather. I was right. She was still standing stock still, exactly the same way she had been in the place where I had scolded her. Held in her hand was the candy that I had bought, given her, and then stepped on and crushed. With that gripped in her hand, she stood there as the powerful winds whipped her hair about, tormenting her. There's the flip-flop. Damn, she really was just gonna stand there. Yeah, the bad witch or whatever. Yeah, going back to what I was saying earlier, the fact that, she goes to that excuse. Okay, if this was a regular child, yeah, that would be bad. Like, that's a fucking terrible ass sign. But this is Maria we're talking about, and she may actually believe that a little bit more than any other child would if they were being, I guess, abused in the same sort of fashion. Shit, maybe there is a witch. Maybe Rosa doesn't, well, obviously Rosa doesn't want to act like this, but, maybe something supernatural is tinging at her? I'm not going to believe that personally. Rosa buried her face in Maria's small chest, crying and begging forgiveness. And once again, those tears dripped down after who knows how many times. If only the brilliant sun had been shining on the two of them. All of their cares would have been evaporated, and it might have felt like they could begin anew. However, what surrounded the two of them was the worsening weather. Sadly, there were only fierce winds with occasional thunder. The sound of Maria sniffling brought Rosa to her senses. If Maria stood exposed to the wind for too long, she'd probably catch a cold.
もうすぐお昼よ。ママと一緒にお屋敷に行きましょ
う。行かない。
どうして？
Oh, here we go. She's about to flip-flop back here. I can already picture it. Maria's gonna say, I'm waiting for Beatrice. Rosa's gonna be like, hey, you're being dumb. And then she's gonna get mad at her again. Rosa thought she had already received Maria's forgiveness, so she hadn't imagined Maria would refuse. But that expression on Maria's face didn't look like that of a child resisting her mother. So Rosa couldn't understand why Maria wanted to stand still, pointlessly, as the weather grew even worse. Maria answered that question.
ベアトリーチェがね、もうすぐ来るの。だから待ってるの。
マリア。
Rosa struggled to find words for a moment and then fell silent. They'd only just managed to make up after all. She chose her words carefully, trying to get Maria to come with her to the mansion without denying the witch outright. So what is she gonna say? Okay.
そう、ならここじゃなくてお屋敷の中で待ちましょう。いつまでもこんな風の中にいたら風邪をひいてしまうわ。
来る！ベアトリーチェは来る！そしたらね、ベアトリーチェにね、お菓子あげるの。トリックオアトリートするの。ジャック・オーランタンのマシュマロお菓子あげて、ハッピーハロウィーンって言うの。
God damn, she's so loud. Maria pulled yet another sweet out of her handbag, moaning ooh ooh. Rosa was bewildered and didn't know what to do as Maria started being difficult again. Oh, okay. At that time, there was a sudden blast of thunder. It was probably a sign that this island had been sealed off by the storm, detached from common sense and reality. So after this moment, all common sense would probably cease to apply. The wind blew even stronger, and amidst that blizzard of scattered rose petals, a figure appeared, leaving Rosa unable to imagine that this was a scene from reality. It was definitely fantastical. After all, that shadow of a person was... Oh man. That isn't necessarily what I was expecting. Like, it's Beatrice, but with a completely different outfit. Like, what the fuck? That kind of took me aback there for a moment. Like, whenever she was like fading from, top to bottom, I was like, wait, is this Beatrice? Then I saw the face and I was like, oh, okay. All right. Hey, she's still good looking and that's all that matters, right? Maria dashed over to the shadow. Normally, Rosa would scold her daughter if she dashed over to someone whom she hadn't seen before and didn't know. But Rosa forgot to do that, was unable to do anything but stand there stunned.
久しぶりよ。元気であったか?
Well, this is kind of what I, requested, sort of.
マリアは元気。魔女は風邪をひかない。
魔女は呪いにて風邪をひかせはするが、自らがひいてはなんとも間抜けな話よ。せいぜい自らが風邪をひくことなどないよ。
She patted Maria's head as she said this, smiling rougishly. Rosa couldn't have known the name of the woman who was happily spoiling Maria. However, Maria had called it out in the beginning when the woman appeared. So even though Rosa had never met her, even though the woman still hadn't introduced herself, Rosa was able to know her name. However, that name held a special meaning on Rokkenjima and in the Ushiromiya family. There's no way something that stupid could be...
ベアトリーチェ、ハッピーハロウィン。ほら、買ったの。ベアトにもあげる。
ハッピーハロウィン。ほう、これをわらわにとな。天国にも地獄にも行けず、煉獄の闇にてさまよう男の唯一の明かりも、こう人の世とも人ならざる者との世とも切り離された今のこの島で、これほどふさわしい歌詞はないかもしれぬな。
This is so fucking interesting and I have no idea what to even say.
マリア、それはどうしたのか?
The witch noticed the sweet Maria was grasping. It was Maria's candy, which had been stomped on by Rosa until it reached this pitiful state. Oh yeah, my mother just had a little bit of a meltdown and stomped on it, that's all. Maria didn't go so far as to say that it was her mother who had stepped on it. However, for some reason, when the witch saw that candy, she looked at Rosa and grinned. A chill went down Rosa's spine, as though this gaze was staring straight through her. Maria held the candy out gleefully. Rosa could do nothing but watch, stunned. Well, yeah, if a fucking person literally just popped out of nothing, I'd be stuck there for a few minutes. Even if, like, she was having a full-on conversation with somebody I knew, especially, like, a family member. Like, it was nothing. I would be dumbfounded. How did this person plan to trick Maria, somehow undoing the fact that the candy had been pitfully trampled? I think I said that right the first time. Maria looked as though she believed it could be fixed good as new. Without real magic, there was no way such a thing could be possible. Yeah, there was quite a few moments of stopping. Like, it was crushed real good.
さあさマリア、目を閉じて思い出してごらんなさい。本当はあんなにも素敵なお菓子だったから、思い出の中のお菓子はいつもふっくら。だからあなたも思い出してごらんなさい。本当はどんなお菓子だったのか。
Along with those strange words spoken as though singing an improvised folk song, the witch threw the sweet into the air. Maria was closing her eyes and remembering just as the witch had told her to. What shape had that crushed candy really had? Therefore, only Rosa saw that scene. The sweet that had been thrown into the air burst into a gold color. No, that wasn't it. There were golden butterflies. It scattered into several golden butterflies, and they began to gather at the witch's hand, which was held up to the sky. I like those little butterfly animations. God damn, she looks so fucking bad. It's just her expression and the little wrinkles underneath her eyes. And as she did this, unbelievably, it returned to its beautiful original form, no different from when it had been bought. Only Rosa and the witch witnessed that scene. Unable to comprehend what was occurring right before her eyes, Rosa stood with her mouth hanging open, completely forgetting to shut it.
もう目を開けてよいぞ。受け取るがよい。これでそなたの歌詞も元通りだ。
ベアトリーチャはいつもすごいすごい。
You finally gonna speak here, Rosa? Got anything to say? There was a stark contrast between Rosa's shock and Maria's innocent joy. Was that what the witch was laughing at? A smile floated to Beatrice's face, one different from the smile she had shown Maria.
わらわの顔がそうまじまじと見られては穴も開こうぞ。
ごめんなさい。
Those words triggered something very clearly in Rosa's mind. Rosa knew this face. She knew it from the portrait of the witch. But no, wait, could this mystery woman really be?
マリア、この歌詞の代わりに、そなたにはこれを与えよう。
Is it the letter? It's the fucking letter.
手紙？
The witch pulled a Western envelope from her pocket and gave it to Maria. However, when Maria made to open it, the witch stopped her.
ならぬ。それを開けるときはすぐに訪れるが、それまで決して開けてはならぬ。大事に持っているがよい。そなたを黄金鏡へ誘う招待状となろう。
黄金鏡、やっと連れてってくれるんだね。
大事にしまっておくのだぞ。誰にも見せてはならぬ。
守る。魔女との約束は絶対に守る。
So wait, is this not the letter? Is this something completely different?
そして。
Oh. What the Okay, so what is wrong with her goddamn face? It looks like she's having a goddamn stroke on her whole, like, right side of her fucking body. Like, look, she's holding her arm and everything. She probably hadn't imagined that the witch would speak to her, too. Rosa was bewildered by the second Western envelope which was thrust before her. She had seen this type of envelope before. There could be no mistake. It was one of Kinzo's special envelopes used when he wrote with his own hand and bearing the Ushiromiya family crest. It was sealed with red sealing wax, and furthermore, it had a mark that seemed to have been made by the head's ring. In other words, even without asking what was inside this letter, Rosa knew that this woman, whom Maria called Beatrice, was trusted enough to be placed in charge of a personal letter of the current Ushiromiya head.
4兄弟の誰でもよかった。だが、ここでそなたと出会ったということは、金蔵のルーレットがそなたを選んだということなのだろう。
That he brought up at the end of the previous video.
ならば受け取るがよい。そしてその中身を、全兄弟の揃う晩餐の席上で読み上げよ。
Rosa looked back and forth several times between the witch's face and the envelope that had been handed to her. Today was the family conference, and the biggest object of discussion would be the inheritance problem. So she had joined together with Ava and Rudolph, and they planned to force a certain condition on Kraus to try and extort several 100 million yen in cash out of him. It was as if the witch could see through all of that. What does she intend to announce when all of us siblings are gathered? And with a personal envelope that no one but the Ushiromiya head can use, excuse me.
マリア、天気が崩れるぞ。ゲストハウスへ戻り、昼を待つがよい。それではローザ、後ほど会おう。その席で改めて名乗らせてもらおうぞ。
Uh-oh. What's gonna go down when they meet again? The witch turned her back to her laughing. Then she began to head towards the mansion with an air of composure. Maria energetically called out and watched her go, then began to dash towards the guest house, leaving Rosa behind, as though she wanted to inform the other cousins of her fortunate meeting with the witch as soon as she could. At last, Rosa was left alone in the rose garden as the winds grew stronger, unable to do anything but pray that what had happened was just a daydream. Unfortunately, no, that was not. Not even close. Wow. Man, I don't know. I think something's different here compared to episode 1. What do you guys think? Now this is, wait, when the witch reached the entrance hall, Genji could be seen there. Wait, are we still following Beatrice? Hold on, I wanna read this a little. Genji welcomed the guest approaching from the entrance hall with a respectful bow. Oh man.
久しぶりだな、Genji.
What the fuck is going on? So, what the fuck? Is she just straight up like, what? I don't know anymore. This is kind of a, not necessarily a mind fuck, but quite a bit of what I had originally predicted did not seem to be sticking here. Or like, I thought that Genji was just pretending this entire time to go along with the whole Beatrice nonsense. Kanun and Shanun obviously have met the witch, as we saw here, but I guess maybe the events of episode 1 could have been completely different. I don't know. I really don't know. Now I'm a little bit down, like just straight up dumbfounded. The events of this conference are going to be quite different, I feel. Let's read the tip that we just, I don't think it was a tip we got. It was a character update here. If I may find whichever one it is. Here we go. Mysterious visitor and 19th person who appeared on the day of the family conference. Goes by the same name as the Golden Witch who granted Kinzo his gold. Both the reason and the purpose of her visit are unknown. She was ushered into the VIP room, which no one had been allowed to use in the past. Well, there we go. I guess that's where she's going to be going here. Truly VIP. And we will save it there. Very different here. Very. She's basically inserting her character into the goddamn story, I think is the best way to describe it. Like, if episode 1 really was a try to figure out what actual literal events could have gone down instead of siding with magic to say like, oh yeah, this just magically went down. People were killed by, you know, magical events and shit instead of an actual 19th person. Well, here's a fucking 19th person. Just right here, plopped in, physically, she's here. What the fuck? I don't know. I really don't. All right. I feel like a lot of people may have been looking forward to watching this this bit of a reaction. I don't really know how to react to this. I'm a little dumbfounded. Excuse me, or very much so. I have no idea how I feel. But I'm very intrigued. I'm very excited to see where this goes. And I hope you guys are as well. Thank you all for tuning into this one. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy shit. And I will see you guys in the next one. And I'm excited to record yet again this next one here. Just like I was in the end of the previous one. I'm like, man, I want to see what's going to go on here. More so than ever do I feel the same way. Take it easy, guys.